All right, moving forward here, we got to chat with Phil Blair, and he has a wonderful guest that's joining us this morning to tell us about her book called Falling in Love with Me. There are our guests right there. So Marcy Morrison, Phil Blair, good morning to the both of you. Thanks so much for being here. Phil, let's start with you. Just real quick, we see you every week here, and you're always helping us find a job. Now are you playing Cupid and helping us fall in love?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm multitasking here. No, we always talk about finding a job that you're passionate about, that you wake up in the morning excited to go to work. And that's really, really important. Well, part of that is knowing what excites you, what makes you happy. Well, to be happy, to know what makes you happy, you really have to like yourself. You have to know yourself a little better. And so when Marcy wrote this book about the importance of getting to know yourself and falling in love with yourself, I call it like yourself. I don't know I'd go that far as falling in love with yourself. But it just all blends together. And it's sort of like you got to start at the base, which I think Marcy is getting to here, to know where you want to go from there. And so I thought it'd be very interesting for our listeners to hear Marcy and why she wrote the book.
Well, it's that age-old saying, you can't love others if you don't love yourself first, right?
Right.
So how did you come about writing this book? Where did it start?
Well, I'm a career coach, and Phil and I have done a lot of work together in terms of helping people uncover their passion and purpose. So what I noticed as a career coach is that a lot of times people didn't really understand who they were and what they loved. So Phil and I have also assisted a lot of layoffs. And so after a layoff, a lot of times I would ask people, what is it that you love to do? And they had no idea. So it was this process of almost finding yourself again, or even finding yourself for the first time.
So you're not just talking about falling in love as far as a relationship goes, but falling in love with your career.
Exactly.
And how important is that for someone?
Oh, it's really, really important. I see a lot of people that are doing the same thing over and over again, and it's kind of almost like being on this treadmill, and it's a routine for them. And so when I assisted a lot of layoffs, a lot of times people would be like, oh my gosh, who am I and what do I love to do? And it was this perfect opportunity for them to say, you know what, I've actually always loved music, or I've always loved art, but I've never really pursued it. So always taking that time to find what it is that you love to do and putting that into your equation.
How do they build up the courage to do that, though? Because I bet a lot of viewers out there watching now are saying, well, yeah, I don't love my job, but I got to pay the bills. What do I do?
Exactly. Well, there's so many different strategies. For example, like I'll give you an example because I think it's always easier. I worked with somebody that was 45 years old, and he had checked off all of the success boxes, had 2 master's degrees, built and sold multiple companies. And I said, what makes you happy? And he said, I don't know. And so for him, actually, it was starting with playing and learning to become a kid again and finding his joy.
Yeah.
And what he found really made him happy was actually making a difference in his community and giving back. And he actually found his passion through helping in the military, and went from a high-powered CEO to actually now he runs a nonprofit that actually gives back to the community.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. You have to have a little bit of fun in the workplace, right, Phil?
Exactly.
Well, and the important thing is that you're not going to snap your fingers and this is going to happen overnight.
Right.
But it's so energizing when you're finally taking action.
Yeah.
That's true.
When you know where you want to go, and it might take 6 months or 6 years to get there, but once you know where you want to go, and that's a happy, good place, then you can be very patient getting there. You can go back to night school. You can take your weekends to study, because you're accomplishing something.
Sure.
The frustration is people say, I don't know what I want to do.
Right.
I hate what I am doing, but I don't know where to go, what makes me happy.
Yeah.
And they just sort of spiral down. So we want people to know what makes them happy and know how to get there and then take action.
Sure
and that's
thing.
what this is about.
Now, where can we find your book?
It's on Amazon.com.
All right.
Yes.
Easy enough. So there you go. Falling in Love with Me. Go ahead and pick it up. Thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate
Thanks.
your time.
Thank
All right.
you.
See you next week, Phil.
You got it.